Hello and welcome to Rank Class. So in this week's episode I'm gonna touch on something that I talked about in the last episode when I did 10 things that annoy me. And the last thing I said is the feeling that I ain't what I used to be. And it might not be number one on my list all the time, but sometimes it is. And it's something that I'm pretty sure everyone will experience during their life, maybe more than once. And it's the feeling of not being able to do what we used to do, or feeling that we haven't achieved what we wanted to achieve in the world, and we actually might end up having a sort of crisis. And that is what this episode is about, crisis, since it's something we will all experience in our life, some more than others. Almost every time we hit some point in our life where a major change comes, or when we look at our life and the plans that we used to have, we can be hit by a crisis. And the last one is often the one referred to as a midlife crisis. When we turn a corner in our life and look back at our life, have you gotten that dream job, or have your dreams come true? And it's something that I'm pretty sure all of us have experienced, the parents or the friends, someone who all of a sudden want to get into super shape, get tattoos, get a bike, do skydiving, something that they never talked about or did before. I have seen people who got divorced and then all of a sudden they want to train, they want to get fit, they want to buy a lot of new stuff and do things they never talked about before. I've even seen someone make their flat into basically a disco with lights and massive sounds. I have had a few crises as well, and it's something that we don't really talk about and we don't really look at, but it's something that all of us will get in touch with. It's something we don't need to be afraid of. It's something we can work with, and it's a normal thing. Everyone will at some point have a crisis in their life, and it can make you feel sad, but you have to remember you're not alone, but often you feel alone, and that is really not true. And it's not a bad thing wanting to get fit and learning new skills, but we have to look at what it is, to find the root cause of it, to work with it, to work with yourself. So I want to talk about how some people hit a crisis and how you can help them or they can help themselves. So let's start by talking about kids. And when I say kids, I refer to everyone who has a parent. And they often get hit with a crisis when the family is either increased or the family splits up, since it is a massive change to their life and the way you live it. And as an adult, a good thing is to talk about it and maybe go to therapy. But if it is a kid, well, talk to the kid. They might believe they are alone in all of this, even though a lot of kids sadly have tried this. And it's something I often talk with the kids about in school, about how when a newborn baby comes, it steals all of the time from the parents, not because the parents doesn't love you, but because the baby just takes a lot of time. And when you have a divorce, well then, if the divorce is ugly, then the kids feel they have to pick a side to stick with someone other than the other, or that they have done something wrong and they are the fault in this divorce. And often what I do is I talk to them, make sure that they're okay, maybe even talk to them while other kids I know have been through the same are close. That way they can interact with each other and actually help each other out, because it brings insurance in us to know other people might feel like you feel, so they can better understand you. And I do really do my best to try and give them time in my daily life, even though it can be hard to find the time. And something that we might look as dumb might actually mean the world to the person you are talking to, because they see it all in a different light than you. But with some good support, they can reach a point where the crisis made them stronger and better and not fragile. Then another massive change in your life is if you get hurt or your body can't do what it used to do. I have not tried that physically. I have not lost an arm or anything, But mentally, I have tried it, and it was a hard hit to feel held back when your brain tries to stop you from doing everything all the time. And what was a massive help for me was to be in a group with people who were like me, because it made me no longer feel alone. And it worked wonders for me and the other people, and it helped us all move forward. Other people need a lot of time with a therapist to work past this, and this is true for both kids and adults. To give you a new sight on life, to give you tools that can change your daily life to the better, and tools you can use in that daily life to rethink your life and to have a life that gives meaning for you again, so you don't just go around aimlessly, but you find what you want to do with your life after a crisis. Then there's another crisis, and that is the loss of someone, either from being divorced, someone lost a job, or someone died. All of this hit your life with a crisis and with different punches. And I know some will say you cannot compare losing a loved one to losing a job, but for some people, losing a job can feel just as hard as it did for you to lose a dear one. That is why I said earlier that stuff might look dumb for us, but for them it's the world. And all this loss can hit your life with a crisis and can trigger the same feelings. And again, a good support group and some therapy can do a lot of good. And we need to remember we are never alone, and getting help is okay. Especially since most of us will try this during our life. That is why I am not afraid to talk about death with kids who have lost someone close to them, and do it in an open setting so everyone can be heard and seen, so they know they're not alone. So that was a small talk about crisis, and I hope that we can all stay safe and remember to support each other, because everyone will be hit at a crisis at some point. And most of us have had a crisis in our life, so you're never alone, and it's okay to have one. And in the end, it will make you stronger. And sadly, some people will have more crises than others, but keep fighting, because you can do it. And it's worth going through the crisis, because you'll come out in the end as a better person. A different person maybe, but a better person. And we want you to be here, because you make the world a better place. So I hope this episode has helped some of you, and feel free to share it to make the topic something commonly talked about and okay to talk about. And if you want, you can join me on my social sites: Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, YouTube. And I wish you all a very nice day.